What's good, chat? Welcome to another episode of Duke the Don. Today we're going to be talking about some breaking news surrounding the Tate indictment case. That's right, folks. As we're getting closer and closer to the official trial day, it seems as though that the Tate camp are starting to realize how woefully unprepared they are. Now, in case you guys didn't know the news already, the Tate brothers have been recently spotted leaving a courthouse in Romania. This is basically for them to get through and have them look over the evidence they have regarding his rape and trafficking case. Now, for you guys that don't understand, and particularly the Tate camp, allow me to illustrate why this trial is probably going to be the most longest and grueling battles the Tate brothers have ever experienced in their lifetime. Now, somebody asking, Duke, come on, what are you talking about? This might be the biggest trials. Didn't you hear the Tate-tots out there? They were saying they couldn't find any evidence, Duke. Listen, even Andrew Tate was telling y'all they had nothing on him. This is such a big bamboozle that he'll be out no problem. Look at what the Romanian government is doing. Duke, they let him off of house arrest, they let him move around in Bucharest, and now they let him move around the country. Them being able to totally get their freedoms back, it has to be proof, Duke, that Andrew Tate is gonna be let off scot-free. Yeah, if we were living in La La Land, absolutely. See, the one thing you gotta understand about these tater tots, okay, these guys are a bunch of brainwashed potatoes, okay? They are so desperate to believe any positive news coming from the Tate camp, they would willfully believe in lies, just as long as it satisfies whatever worldview narrative they have conjured up. And it's one of those things I never truly understood. You can present a bunch of evidence, even the evidence themselves has been provided by Andrew Tate himself, and you can show that to people and say, look, this is what he said, and this is what he did in the past, this is what he's being trialed for. Still, you get these tater tots that will look at all of these evidence and just say, he's innocent. Why? Because he said so. Listen, for those of you guys who are still on that juice, okay, I'm gonna tell you what, reality is about to smack you guys in the face real freaking fast, because it shows that a lot of these people have not been paying attention to the situation at all. If they were paying attention, all they would need to do is simply read the indictment. The indictment lets you know everything these guys is being charged for. But before we get into any of that, let's go ahead and address the sponsor of today's show. That is the YouTube like button. That's right, folks. The show today is sponsored by you guys. So if you haven't yet sponsored the show, go ahead and do us a massive favor and smash that like button right below you. Yeah, the one right below the screen here. Go ahead and smash that. And listen, if you like the show so far, go ahead and hit that young subscribe button so YouTube lets you know whenever we got a video dropping in town. Now let's get back to the meat and potato. Now the Tate brothers were recently seen leaving the courthouse in Romania, and the whole purpose of that court visit was because they are going through pre-trial. Yes, folks, there's about 70,000 pages worth of evidence that a lot of judges and the prosecutors have to sift through regarding the indictment for Andrew Tate. What a lot of people don't understand is how incredibly complex this case file is going to be. That's why I said earlier that Andrew Tate and the Tate camp, they are in it for the long haul, which means that a lot of these tater tots, y'all are gonna be disappointed, especially when you realize the toll it's gonna take on these brothers, all right, and how expensive this is gonna get. And somebody be like, oh, Duke, why would you say this is gonna be expensive? I mean, you heard the man Tate himself. He said that this is nothing. That's a very fair question. Remember that 70,000 pages worth of documents that I mentioned earlier? Yeah, there's a lot to sift through with that. A lot of accusations, a lot of evidence, a lot of situations that has to be thoroughly looked at. And what is that going to cost? Well, time. It's going to take a lot of time for them to sift through that. Time and money, because the longer it takes, the more money the Tate camp are going to spend. So I guess we could probably see more of Tate on social media, because he's going to have to try to foot the bill somehow. Here's another thing I found very interesting when Tate left the courthouse in Romania. Now, you guys usually know whenever Tate leaves a courthouse, or whenever he leaves a situation where he's mandated to be there by the Romanian government, he usually holds a press conference. And in this press conference, he's usually using that as an opportunity to brag about his innocence, brag about how the Romanian government got nothing on him, and brag about how free he'll be soon.
I would like to say a massive thank you to all the supporters we have around the world, regardless of what the mainstream media keeps saying and the lies they try and purport. We get tens of thousands of messages from people every single day supporting us, and they understand that we're not the first affluent, wealthy men who have been unfairly attacked. We've been completely innocent since the beginning of this, and I have to give absolute faith to the Romanian judicial system for finally making the right decision and letting us free. I'm sure in the end we'll be absolutely exonerated. I've done nothing wrong. God knows I've done nothing wrong. In my heart, I know I've done nothing wrong. I think the people at home who with a functioning brain understand we've done nothing wrong.
But if you guys paid attention to this more recent courtroom visit, the mood was a little bit different. Case in point, listen, Andrew Tate was surrounded by his usual entourage, and of course you got the media surrounding him. Everyone's taking pictures and Tate boys are smiling, but the smile wasn't as big as the smile they used to have in previous press conferences. Matter of fact, he didn't really even give much of a press conference. He just kind of walked right past all the paparazzi. He didn't take the stand to even proclaim his innocence at that point like he normally does with all the other press conference. He didn't even take the time to even brag about how wrong the Romanian government has this case. Brings us to the next question. Well, how long is this trial going to last, Duke? How long do we have to wait until we get a verdict on his case? Are we gonna have to wait months, years? Like what is going on? Well, listen, I would have to tell you guys this. You're probably gonna be waiting several months to a couple years or even longer, just because, again, there are over 70,000 pages worth of evidence. We're talking WhatsApp messages, we're talking about text messages, we're talking about cameras, we're talking about hard drives. Everything they found within the Tate compound, okay, has been compiled into file folders stacking up that they literally have to wheel out in shopping carts.
Oh my God.
Those of you guys still out here touting Tate's innocence and everything like that, I think the only people that understand that Andrew Tate is guilty are the victims, Andrew Tate himself, and the people who aren't brainwashed. For a courtroom to go through and dissect all of that, you have to understand it's going to take at least a year or more, right? And yeah, that's what a lot of these tater tots are not understanding. And this is what you guys have to get through your head. Tate probably realized in that pre-trial hearing exactly what kind of battle he's in for. Okay, now some of you guys are like, okay, Duke, okay, we understand the trial's probably gonna take years because they have all these documents they have to sift through, all right? But realistically, how long do you think he's gonna spend in prison? Well, ladies and gentlemen, that truly is the icing on the cake here, because he's looking at at the bare minimum 12 to 18 years.
You're a victim.
At the maximum, 25 to 36 years.
Oh my God.
It's 13 years alone for the trafficking charge. We're not even counting the other charges that is surrounding him. In terms of rape, we're talking about physical abuse, we're talking about money laundering and tax evasion.
Tax is also another important element for controlling it. You're not going to pay anybody tax because you're getting paid in Bitcoin, so you don't need to pay tax to anybody.
That's not legal advice, by the way.
When you add all of these charges together, this man and his brother are looking at a very lengthy prison sentence. So lengthy, in fact, a lot of you tater tots right now who are sitting there being, oh, free Tate, we gotta free him, he did nothing wrong. I guarantee you, I can almost guarantee you guys are gonna forget about these guys, okay? By the time this dude faces reality inside those four walls, the world will forget about it. It's one of those things where you guys have to understand, people out here who are preaching fast money, they're preaching all these lifestyles that are get rich quick. There's usually flow consequences that come with that kind of fast wealth. And Andrew Tate and his brother have no one else to blame but themselves. They decided to engage in criminal activities. Not only that, they bragged about that on social media. I mean, talk about self-snitching to the highest degree. Like, you can't be that stupid to go ahead and commit a crime and then snitch on yourself, all in the name of getting more popular, because he's going to prison. And no, it's not because the Matrix wants to come after him because of the things he's saying. If that were the case, a lot of red pillars, a lot of YouTubers would be locked up right now, but they're not. And the reason why they're not is the same reason why a lot of these guys can't figure out why Andrew Tate is guilty. It's because they never did the research. They never looked at the indictment records or even looked at certain things that the man has actually said and done and compared it to what he's being charged with to make their own conclusions out of it.
I'm taking over. So what I did is I unplugged their keyboards and plugged a new one in from me behind the screen. So the chicks would sit there and hit a keyboard that wasn't plugged in. And me and my brother and eventually some staff would do all the talking. The girls were pure just famouser, just laugh doing this, the titties out, and they were talking to fucking ice cold hustlers. We were taking their money, all of it. We were fucking milking them dry. There's nothing. Nah, you get a man with game and give him a female's body, a female avatar. He will fuck a guy up. I had these guys selling their houses, life savings, loans, All of it to me. Give me it all. So like, and it's basic shit, right? You'd have a
you
guy.
feel bad or no?
Fuck no. To give a solitary fuck.
But I guess only time would tell. But you guys let me know. That's all I got for this short little video over here. What do you guys think? Do you think, okay, the Tate brothers probably realize that this is going to be a very long battle that's probably going to span several years? Or are you guys of the opinion that, no, Duke, you're completely wrong. I'm a total egghead. Tate's going to be free from this. You watch. He's going to be free. He's going to walk into that courtroom, and the judge is going to stamp the approval of innocence and send him on his merry way so he can come out there and start doing content so all the merry boys can enjoy. You let me know what you think. All right, and I'm gonna catch you guys on the next one. Peace.